It is overtime here at the DFS Deli because we need to bring in one of my coworkers to discuss this Week 10 slate because it is a complicated one to say the least. 10 gamer, 11 if you're on FanDuel. We got some good chalk to break down, some bad chalk to break down, and of course, this being a Saturday night, the secret menu, the first one of the season, this is not for the faint at heart. So if you're a chalk donkey or a cash game player, this is not the pod for you. But if you're here to take down tournaments and go off the cup, do the Kansas City Shuffle with Baker and I, tonight you're in the right place. So turn on the open signs and welcome in the DFS Deli. Let's do it. And welcome in to the DFS Deli. I, of course, am the proprietor of this delicatessen, Salih Alishahid, and it is a Saturday night, cool 55 degrees in Cleveland, Ohio, as we open up the DFS Deli for the Week 10 slate. The final view, the landing strip is down into the slate. Injury news, most of it is in, and we need to break down what we're going to be doing in our tournament lineups. So join tonight, working a little OT for your boy, for me, Salih Alishahid, is Christian Baker. Baker, what's up, man? Welcome on into work. How are you?
I am fantastic. Enjoying myself a little vivacious by the Great Lakes Brewery up there by you, not by me, because I don't live up there no more. And yeah, I'm currently looking at futons while we're talking fantasy football. I know they don't coincide with each other, but as you can see, big empty space behind me. We got to put something back there. So it's currently what I'm physically actually looking at. And yeah, I drove 2 hours back down to Columbus today because I was up in Cleveland taking care of some business with my house up there. And I guess I'll say it for chill because this feels weird. I'm ready to dive on in.
Thanks for saying it, because if it wasn't going to be you, it would be me, because we got to dive on in to this slate.
It doesn't feel right coming out of my mouth. It feels right, I'm saying, coming into my mouth. It doesn't feel right coming out.
It's tough, man. It's tough, when we're kind of working shorthanded. But, we've done duos before, just like hopping in Warzone. Instead of hitting the trio, we got to do the duo. So we'll go ahead and rack up these kills tonight and see if we can't take down some
What you know about playing some fucking Warzone, bro? You ain't played it since the pandemic.
You damn right I ain't played it since the pandemic. But you know what? I have YouTube.com, and I enjoy watching streamers play Call of Duty sometimes. So it is fun. It's a fun pastime of mine, because players that are certainly way better than me, that make money doing the things that they do, I would rather watch them perform, just like us watching football or golf or basketball. Hey, speaking of basketball, hey, 10-0 Cavs. What's up, man? How about that? Watched the Golden State game last night. That was pretty entertaining.
Went to the Golden State game last night.
Went to the Golden State game. Look at you. Very nice. Very nice.
A connect of mine from back when I worked at Morton's in downtown Cleveland. Her husband works for the Cavs, so she always has tickets. So as I'm driving up, I shot her a text like, hey, you wouldn't happen to randomly be able to get tickets for tonight's game? She's like, you want to be my +1? I'm like, let's ride.
Let's ride. Yeah, that was a beatdown. That's nice to see a Cleveland team doing something, huh? Unlike the other Cleveland team, which will not be mentioned because they're on a bye. So that's
the Indians. The Indians.
They don't exist anymore. So
I don't call them by the other name. I refuse.
Oh, and you don't support a baseball team here in Cleveland. So, but that's neither here nor there. Of course, what we do here on the DFS Deli is break down position by position our favorite plays. If you haven't tuned into the Wednesday show, by all means, watch that one first for our initial first takes of the slate. But now we're into the nitty gritty, Baker. We're into narrowing down those player pools, seeing where we can pivot, zig where others zag, doing the things that'll get us to the top of the tournament leaderboards. And as I texted you guys and many others that participate in daily fantasy sports, this slate sucks because A, it's 10 games. So ownership is going to be condensed. 11, of course, if you're on FanDuel. And there's no value. Like last week we had, Chase Brown in a nice spot, which was a smash play, at cheap value. There were some cheap receivers we could plug in. But the cheap receivers that are available that are going to be chalky this week, I don't want to play none of them. So I don't understand the slate in general, especially when it comes to ownership percentages. So we'll go ahead and break down a few of those for the viewers and the listeners, and hopefully talk amongst ourselves to actually get some clarity of the slate, because I'm very it's cloudy. It's cloudy here in Cleveland, and I don't like that feeling, Baker. So we'll help you. You will help me. We'll help them, the viewer, the listener. But of course, in order to help us, all you need to do is hit the like button, and that's it. Just
the
that
tip
little
jar. It's the tip jar, sir.
It's a like, but it's got the little thumbs up over there. Why don't you do that right now? I'll wait.
It's the tip jar here in the DFS Deli for us
It is
making
not
such delicious sandwiches and whatnot.
It is not the tip jar.
I'm going to do that for the rest of the season. I'm letting you know that right now.
I might have to fire you. Baker's been collecting tips from our listeners and subscribers, and I don't like that. So
I'm just saying, there's a chance that I might give you my breast of the week.
Yo, is that like a segue or a foreshadowing? Foreshadowing. That's what they call that in the business.
Yes.
So listen, we'll start at the quarterback position because that's where most builds start, and you may see something different from DraftKings. I don't know if you have ownership numbers pulled up in front of you. Obviously, I'll break down some FanDuel numbers for people, but I can switch back and forth if need be. I'll start over here on FanDuel, where the chalk seems to be lying with Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy, of course, in a decent matchup with Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay has been decimated by the pass over, let's say, the past 4 or 5 games. Ownership condensing on guys like Jaden Daniels, Aaron Rodgers, even a little Patrick Mahomes, who came out slinging a little bit last week. So, but again, against that same Tampa Bay secondary, and that game was competitive. I mean, it came down to overtime for Patrick Mahomes to get there. So, I don't know about the spot against Denver. It's just like we have highly projected quarterbacks that nobody is playing, and maybe you can explain why. So again, those are FanDuel numbers. I don't know how you feel about DraftKings, but basically, who do you have in your player pool that the field may not be considering tomorrow? And give me your reasoning behind it.
So first, I'll start with the top 3 on DK. We're looking at Brock Purdy over here as well, Justin Herbert for the people who are fancy, and Sam Darnold. Those are the top 3 quarterbacks over here. For myself, I said it on Wednesday and it hasn't changed. I still feel like Baker Mayfield's in a great spot on the other side of this Brock Purdy crap. Just because of the script that he should be in. And let's be honest, Tampa hasn't been successful at running the ball pretty much all year anyway. So I don't see why that would change in this game. So if it's going to be competitive, it most likely is coming off the right arm of Baker Mayfield still. All the great plays at the top, the Jaden Daniels, the Josh Allens, and the Jalen Hurts, it's almost impossible to build a competent lineup. You can build a lineup. It's very difficult to build a competent lineup with them on DraftKings. Just because their prices are just so restrictive, and pricing being, just as tight as something that's really tight. I was going to say something sexual, decided not to.
A keyhole.
That's really tight.
I knew what you wanted to say, but a keyhole.
Yeah, keyhole. Like, as I'm going through my mind, I'm like, I think it's something that's not sexual. Fuck, I can't.
That's all right. We're not here to be PG here on the DFS Deli, so that's all right. It's all right.
I mean, if this was a PG show, I would have been fired a very long time ago.
Yes, probably on the first episode.
Possibly.
More
than likely. But yeah, Baker Mayfield was my number 1 with a bullet, honestly, still. I'm saying, as we're about to land.
Okay, I can see the justification behind Baker Mayfield, but who's gonna be your stacking partners? Because if you go to the tight end position, Cade Otton's probably one of the most chalkiest ones on the slate, minus George Kittle over there on DraftKings. But it's like, do you trust these vagabonds basically to get any type of production? I mean, like, is it going to be a Baker Mayfield with a single stack? Is it going to be eat the Cade Otton chalk and get off it because you're playing Baker Mayfield? Or are you gonna tag one of these lower price receivers along with them?
I mean, I can eat the Cade Otton chalk just because of the fact that Baker's not owned going along with them, so it's just going to reduce my ownership. And then my off the wall What the fuck are you thinking? Who the hell is he? I didn't know he existed before you said his nameplate. Raheem Jarrett? Rakim Jarrett?
Bruh.
Just saying.
Who's that? Who is that?
Once again, he plays for Tampa. Just letting you know. And I think that play is going to be largely influenced for me if Jalen McMillan is out again. Because
Gotcha.
in Monday's game, I think he was second on the team, if I remember correctly, in actual snaps. Mind you, he only earned one target, so it's not like he was heavily involved. But he was also facing a team in Kansas City where they're playing a tight coverage where you're going to earn your fucking targets versus them. In San Francisco, they're not going to play up in your face. They're going to make you earn everything up underneath and make you drive the field on them, but they're not in your face. So there's chances for K-Dot and a receiver, and I'm hoping it's Jared, potentially, to work this underneath and maybe break a big play type of thing, even though he is more of a vertical down the field type of player.
I can respect that. I mean, you can save some salary along the way, so I can get behind those kind of plays. It's just for me. So I'm not as keen to the Baker Mayfield stuff. I mean, I've played him a ton over the course of the season, but that was because he had Mike Evans every week, bro, and of course the God, But now it's like I don't see the ceiling, right? Because like we all thought that Baker Mayfield had a pretty decent performance on Monday. The man had 18 and a half DraftKings points. That's it. So it's like, do I see a path to 303? Maybe, but then that really means he's bringing someone else along with him. So
Absolutely.
I'm fine with that if you can see the ceiling of it. What I want to kind of discuss is what I was talking through text with you guys is if there's players on this slate that have the ability to actually fracture the slate, it's got to be the guys at the top that A, have the rushing floor, and B, can literally put the team on their back with rushing and passing touchdowns. So like Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts are under 5% over here on FanDuel right now. And that just makes me want to jam them in. And yes, I agree with the sentiment that it's hard to make a lineup you're comfortable about. But at the same time, if you're making a tournament lineup, you want to be uncomfortable anyway. So that's one. And two, if no one's playing them, like there's no quarterback, maybe sans Jaden Daniels, that has the ability to put up 30 plus. Period. It's Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen. Who else is putting up 30 plus on this slate?
Russell Wilson?
Who else is putting up 30 on this slate?
Will Levis?
Who else? You shut your mouth. All right. So it's my point. My point exactly. So yes, I understand that we are dry of value on this slate, but at the same time, if we're plugging in guys that can get us 10 to 15 points at max at lower salary, and you can jam in a slate breaker like Josh Allen or Jalen Hurts, it's like, why not take the risk on doing that? So if you want to soak up all the touchdowns, it's probably how I'm going to build. It's probably through James Cook and Josh Allen, then Saquon and Jalen Hurts. And yes, putting Hurts and Saquon in the same lineup is a lot of salary. But at the same time, the upside to that could get you in the market of 60 points, and you're fine. I mean, we've seen Saquon just recently last week on the receiving end of things. We've seen James Cook on the receiving end of things before. So obviously, last week was Ray Davis getting that long touchdown pass from Josh Allen. But even if you want stacking partners with Josh Allen, it's cheap. So if you avoid the Khalil Secure chalk, which he's going to be very expensive, Swole Hollins costs you nothing.
It's the holiday season, Salih. We're going into the holiday season.
It's about to be Hollins Day season if he connects tomorrow, because I'm playing some Swole. I'm playing some Swole. But at the same time, on the other side,
you're going to be sad because it's going to be an Amari Thanksgiving.
If the wrist holds up. So if Amari's in, and we're talking about Amari Cooper at less than 2% ownership, maybe 3 or 4, it's like
under 6K over here.
Yeah. So why not jam a guy in like that with your Josh Allen stacks and then kind of move on? Like if you want to play chalk around that, you can, because that combination of players is going to be less than 15% owned.
Easy.
Come on. So again, Josh Allen has cheap stacking partners. Jalen Hurts does not. So that's why I don't recommend going Saquon, AJ Brown, and Slim Reaper, because that's your entire salary.
Yeah,
So,
you're 3K capping the rest of your lineup at that point in time.
Yeah, absolutely. So on the Bills end, I would recommend it. But it's like, again, I don't understand the field, because these are two of the teams with the highest team totals on the damn slate, and no one wants to play these guys. Am I tripping?
You normally are tripping, but in this situation, you're not.
So, and I feel like, so those two guys are kind of going to be marquee plays for me. I kind of got off Kirk Cousins a little bit, only because I don't think this game's going to be competitive. New Orleans stinks.
I kind of agree. The only way I think it's competitive, and if I do build a Kirk Cousins team, my only saint is Alvin Kamara.
Yeah, but that's where the ownership is going to be, right? So you got chalky pieces like Alvin Kamara, Taysom Hill, Bijan Robinson. Drake London is looks like he's going to be playing. He's not going to be like super chalk or anything like that, but he's going to garner some ownership. On FanDuel, Darnell Mooney's damn near unplayable. He's like 7,300, so you could forget that. Like, you could throw that out the window. So again, I want to see, if I'm going to play this game, I want to see the game script, and I will probably play it in large field, which I mentioned slightly on Wednesday, but I'm probably going to pull the trigger, is that we see a game where nobody gets there. Atlanta runs away with this game, and you know what happens in the game script when Atlanta runs away. Tyler Algier.
Tyler fucking Algier.
So if you want to really get away from the chalk, Tyler Algier and the Falcons defense. You've literally just pivoted off everything chalk-wise in that game.
I mean, you could now. The other pivot is to go Derek Carr and flip a coin over a pass catcher.
He doesn't have anybody. There's no Olave. He's on IR. Rashid Shaheed's on IR. Cedric Wilson is out. Bub Means is out. So it's like, who is playing receiver for the New Orleans Saints?
Mason Tipton, and MVS. You asked who? You asked. You asked the question. I answered it, okay?
Yeah, I get it. But you know what that warrants, Baker?
Ain't no fucking way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy.
I ain't playing Nan Saint. I get it. Alvin Kamara, 35 touches last game. The volume and the floor are there for Alvin Kamara, 100%. But in this environment where they know they can't pass a lick because they don't have anybody to throw to, and Derek Carr is ass. I just think that this game is going to get away from the Falcons in a sense that they're going to be in such cruise control where I don't see the ceiling. Like, I want to see the Bijan Robinson ceiling, but you got to pay for it. I want to see another Kyle Pitts spike game. He's relatively inexpensive. So, like, if you want to go there, go there. Kirk Cousins is inexpensive as well. But again, I want to get guys in there that have access to their ceiling tomorrow. And I just don't see Kirk Cousins being that guy. Like, I want to see it, but New Orleans stinks, man. It stink.
Now, I will ask you this. Mason Tipton from?
Bro. I have no idea.
Well, considering the fact you didn't know he existed.
Yes. Facts.
Yale. He's a smart guy. He's a Taj Mowry.
Only smart guy I trust in football is the certain Stanford tree that plays in San Francisco. So if he ain't there, I don't worry. I ain't worried about him.
Is that what we call in the business a segue?
No. Because
okay.
There's a couple.
I thought trying to pivot.
I should have, but there's a couple guys that I do want to mention at the bottom of the pricing list. If you want to fit in some of these,
here we go.
Listen, man. If you're gonna poo my Mac Jones play, all right. If you're gonna poo Mac Jones, all right, I'll kick you off this show right now. Okay. So listen, Mac Jones, again, he's starting in place of Trevor Lawrence, who's hurt. He has limited options to throw to, so you know where the ball is going. No one's going to play Evan Ingram. No one's going to play Brian Thomas Jr. Returning Gabe Davis, maybe. Parker Washington, if Gabe Davis comes back, moves back into the slot. So, and you already know they're going to be trailing 90% of this game. So we want to talk about some garbage time heroes. I think Mac Jones has the ability to do that. I mean, we've seen flashes of guys that are in a backup role that come in that first game and wax C. Jameis Winston. So it's like they don't have film on them. They don't have tape. I mean, this is and again, take it with a grain of salt, a former Pro Bowler, okay? And if you're asking him to come out and sling it, why not? They're at home. They know they're going to be trailing by a bunch, in theory. Cheap stacking options, with the exception of Brian Thomas Jr. If you want to go another route, you can. But that allows you to fit in the rest of these guys that you may want to play, which, again, we'll get to wide receiver because there's a wide receiver on the other side of that ball that ain't nobody playing. And I understand why, but we'll talk about it.
Because it's hard to get to him. He's expensive as all shit.
Mac Jones is $4,400 DK dollars. Tell me you can't fit in Justin Jefferson with $4,400.
You could definitely fit him. And like after you said that, I started playing around with some lineups, and I'm like,
it don't look too bad. I'll do it. It don't look too bad. So either we can go all the way to the top with Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, or we can go all the way to the dumpster and get our boy Mac Jones. And I've said it on Wednesday, Cooper Rush. We've seen competent quarterback play from him before. The Eagles always want to give you games. Okay, so, I mean,
their head coach wants to give you games.
Right. Their coach is a freaking idiot. But 5-1 as a starter. Dakota was placed on IR today. He's gone.
He's done.
Yeah, he's done. So it's the Cooper Rush show the rest of the season.
The Trey Lance show.
Yeah, well, you're right. We might see Trey Lance. You're right. You're absolutely right. But for the time being, it's Cooper Rush. CeeDee Lamb is in. No injury designation, so he's got all his weapons. Weapons in quotation marks. But it's like, again, another cheap guy that you can build around with cheap stacking options that could allow you to fit some of the bigger guys that you want in your lineup. So those are my 2 cents at quarterback. Baker, do you have anybody else you're considering tomorrow?
Well, one, I don't. Considering what you can do around Mac Jones, because like
$4,400 DraftKings dollars.
He's just so cheap.
So cheap, bro.
But here's the thing: he's projecting with low ownership. I think the cards flip over, and it's about to be like Mac Jones, 25% owned.
No way. I do not see that happening. Ain't no way, bro. Ain't no way. I just can't see it. No one wants to click on Mac Jones, regardless of price. No one wants to click on.
Myself included. I promise you, no part of me wants to click Mac Jones tomorrow. But I think if people play around and see what you can build with Mac Jones, it's going to be like, maybe.
Right. If he gets to be 202, I'm a happy guy.
So
you might be right.
But that's the only thing that scares me about Mac Jones. Like, he's not projecting, but those cards turn over and he's 20% owned. And I'm just like, oh, Lord Jesus. Because if that was the projection, there's no way I would play him.
That's fair. Baker, you got anybody else on your list before you hop over running back?
I'm not sure if I believe in Washington. Like, Washington's defense has been playing a little bit better lately. I'm not buying it. And as we kind of
acquired Marshawn Lattimore,
who's not playing this week.
But it's the aura of Marshawn Lattimore that will help the defense in the short term, okay?
I mean, and if they were going against Tampa and Mike Evans was out there, then I would be concerned. But
we don't get the annual fight night.
We do not. We do not get fight night.
I'm sad.
Watch freaking Washington, or not Washington. Yeah, Washington and Tampa still play next year because they're both in the NFC, and it's like, yep, here comes fight night. Let's go.
They'll flex that to prime time, so make sure everyone can tune in to fight night. So we ain't got to worry about it. Well, actually, on FanDuel, you do.
I mean, I think Russell Wilson and his YOLO ballness, which I hate the YOLO ball king, but I think he has that next tier of upside, I guess. Like, I feel like he could be in that 20 to 25 range. as far as points scored this week. And if nobody drops a 30, 35 burger, like that could be what you like. All right, cool. I got 25 at 5,900. You can live with that if nobody's dropping 30, and you could be right there in the building.
That's fair. It just gives me a reason to play Calvin Austin to her.
I'm not playing Calvin Austin.
Come on, man. 2 touchdowns last game, 1 on special teams. He's their deep ball threat. You love the YOLO ball.
Yeah, I'm just not. Like, it's George Pickens or I don't play him.
All right, bet. We're gonna put together a parlay at the end of the show. Calvin Austin's part of mine.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
Calvin Austin, anytime touchdown, book it.
Oh, my God.
All right, let's talk running back, Baker.
While you talk, I'm going to look up those odds.
Yeah, go right ahead. So the chalk du jour looks like a lot of people are going to be on, of course, the aforementioned Alvin Kamara, Bijan Robinson, J.K. Dobbins, James Conner, ? JT against the pretty piss poor Buffalo Bills run defense. A lot of people are going to be playing Breece Hall, DeAndre Swift. No. And Aaron Jones against Jacksonville, which again, another piss poor defense. And then it kind of tapers off. But what I need an explanation of, Baker, and maybe you can help your boy out, is that for FanDuel players only, no one's playing Jahmyr Gibbs. So if you need a late swap onto somebody, might be the guy, sub 5% ownership. The dude gets there every week. Even with his limited touches, splitting the backfield with David Montgomery, another guy that no one's going to play. But for us DraftKings player or you DraftKings players, please explain to me, and don't use price as an excuse, because I just don't want to fucking hear it. Okay, people got to pay up somewhere, right?
Yes,
but why nobody won't play Saquon Barkley?
It's a tough matchup.
It's not.
The Eagles aren't good at running the ball.
They are.
Saquon is not explosive or athletic.
He backwards hurdles people.
I couldn't get enough of that play last week. I really couldn't.
Neither could the internet, which was great.
Like, still watching it, like as we're here on Saturday night, still watching that play, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
I wonder what was going through his mind.
Did you do it?
Yeah, I wonder what was going through his mind at the time. Like, when are they going to put that button on Madden? When will I be able to backwards hurdle somebody when I'm running the ball? Damn it!
Oh man,
that's like a game breaker from NFL Street.
I mean, he was literally playing NFL Street in real life.
That's what it seemed like. That's what it seemed like, didn't it? But yeah, why is nobody playing Saquon Barkley, man? Yeah, I get it. Most expensive running back on the board, 100% get it. But they are the matchup is soft as sin, okay? SAWFT, it's soft. We already know the rushing chops. He already showed it last week. He's got receiving and rushing upside. I mean, the man put up a $150 something, total yards last week. He don't come out the game, so there's no split backfield. The only thing you have to worry about is the push of the tush at the 1 yard line. And that's it. Other than that, it's the Saquon Barkley show. And no one wants to play him this week. Help me. Help you. Help me. Why? Why we won't play Saquon? I'm playing the shit out of Saquon. I played him the shit out of last week, and nobody wanted to play him. Okay? I'll do it again this week. There's going to be Saquon Barkley in every lineup.
Well, more people are going to play him this week than last week. I promise you that.
Well, it's a shorter slate, too.
I mean, once again, Saquon's one of those players. I feel like we're going to flip these cards over and it's going to be like, yeah, we're not that stupid. I think the fact that he doesn't project well due to price in simulators is why his ownership is projecting down. But I think when you get into these hand builders, they're not going to be dumb enough not to play Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, but again, what are you going to sacrifice if you play Saquon Barkley, right? Because a lot of people want to play Bijan. A lot of people want to play Alvin Kamara. A lot of people want to play Aaron Jones in this matchup. There are other running backs that are just slightly less than him, well, significantly less than him in price, that they'll probably want to click before they go all the way up to Saquon. And another forgotten man, and we'll get into him, is the return of CMC, the slate breaker himself. So everybody's going to play this wait and see game with him. I think this is probably the week you want to play CMC, right? I mean,
now that
I get it.
That I 1,000% agree. Like, as I was practice building before we got on here, as I mentioned, Baker Mayfield being one of the players I'm most interested in, best believe CMC is going to be on the other side of some of those.
I get it. Yeah, 100%.
Because as I say to you all the time, Sully, if you're scared, go to church. I understand tomorrow's Sunday, but I ain't been in church since I was a kid.
Respect. But yeah, no one's playing CMC, no one's playing Barkley. These are two of the guys that we were fiending to jam in lineups, and all of a sudden we don't want to play them. I don't understand. I just don't get it.
Yeah, like, I don't care if that Tampa's run defense is quote unquote good. I think that San Francisco has a scheme good enough to run on them theoretically. I mean, obviously, you have one massive man in the middle of that defense that you need to account for in the running game. But CMC, he brings the passing game usage for everybody else down by him being back on the field.
Yes, 100% agree. The bad thing about that play is that they play at 1 o'clock. If they were in the 4 o'clock window, he'd be the best late swap on the slate. And right now, it's Jahmyr Gibbs as the best slate swap on the slate. So
for you,
for us FanDuel players. But
playing Saquon, I was trying to figure that out earlier. I'm like, if I play Saquon, who the fuck am I swapping to?
Yeah, who could you swap off to? Yeah, you're right. You're right. 100%. But give me some more low-owned plays that you feel that the field is not keen to. Or give me a top-end play that has a lot of ownership that you are fading.
So Aaron Jones is the one play on this slate that I'm like, I have not figured out as we're even about to be building and putting the things in the stuff to do the things in the stuff before the games kick off to do the things in the stuff. Aaron Jones, I still haven't figured out. Because he has this insane high ownership. And I don't think his role, what he can do, yeah, the matchup, yeah, but should he be 30% owned? 30?
He's top 24 DraftKings points one time this year.
Exactly. And for 30% for that, like, I'm willing to, I feel like I should just roll the dice and be like, man, fuck this dude.
And Baker, we'll get into it, but the best pivot play is on the other side of his offense. We'll get there here in a second, but
he's expensive.
But he's the best pivot play on the board, Baker.
He's number one. I get it.
Thank you, SpongeBob.
Now, here's the interesting thing about this slate is if you're not playing a Mac Jones-esque quarterback, you cannot, or not, you cannot. You're sacrificing everything to put a Christian McCaffrey, a Saquon Barkley, and probably a Jonathan Taylor or Bijan Robinson in a lineup with a top-tier receiver, such as a Justin Jefferson or CeeDee Lamb or something along those lines. You just can't do it. By my estimations, at least. You're sacrificing too much.
Yeah, but the ceiling of these guys, man, they're pricey for a reason. You gotta pay to play, man. So again, I don't know. I want to get the guys that I know that, and yes, as a Packer in the past, Aaron Jones has broken slates. Yes. Haven't seen it this year though, and I don't think that. So the game script could go one of two ways, right? So we get the median to high pass volume of a competitive game from Sam Darnold, right? Let's say somehow, some way that they're trailing in this game. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm definitely not saying that's going to happen. What if? Again, we want to zig where others zag, right? So if we want to pivot off this man, the only way to do it, well, one of the main ways to do it is that on the expensive end, you can go to the passing game and play Jay Jetta. Or we saw, Jordan Addison even get there last week. You know, he had 70 some odd yards and a touchdown. So it's like, even if you want the other side, the other piece of this game and get away from the chalk known as Aaron Jones, you should do that as opposed to, you know, let's play the passing game. I mean, you can play Hawkinson and Jay Jetta and Sam Darnold. You can do that. Right? I mean, but like, well, maybe not Hawkinson on FanDuel because for some reason he is like one of the highest priced tight ends. And I'm just like, you've played a game and you played 32 snaps last week. Like, all right, cool, FanDuel. Thanks. Let's not forget y'all put Dalton Kincaid at 4K 2 weeks ago, dumbasses. I don't know what the hell they doing over there. But anyway, I digress. But on DraftKings, you could certainly play Viking stack and get off of Aaron Jones. So that's one way to do it.
I mean, you're still going to eat some ownership with that, with the Sam Darnold part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. But you make up for it if you play Jetta or Jordan Addison. Like, it looks like Jetta's coming in at less than 10%. Jordan Addison's coming in at less than 2%. So it's like you have a pathway to get off the chalk if you want.
And if you play TJ Hawkinson, you might be the only person in your tournament playing him.
I bet you TJ Hawkinson would start himself.
He can't play DFS.
I bet you TJ Hawkinson's family members would start TJ Hawkinson.
TJ Hawkinson can play regular fantasy football. He can't play DFS.
Can't play DFS. All right. My bad, Calvin Ridley. I apologize. Who else did we miss, Bake?
I mean, James Cook still criminally underowned.
That's another one. Thank you. Thank you for jogging my memory. Yes,
you know,
talk to me about some James Cook.
I mean, we hammered it on Wednesday. I mean, he was my bold take on Wednesday. And it's like nothing has happened. He has not been steamed. Nobody's even come close to, you know, blowing some hot air on him. So I still love James Cook. Like, and it has nothing to do with the fact that I was a huge fan of his older brother. Ramondre Stevenson, I think he can outproduce the chalkier running back in that game.
Yeah, that's another good pivot play as well. I mean, we saw Chicago get absolutely ransacked by the Arizona Cardinals run game last week. So there's no reason that they would deviate from the plan to try and give Ramondre his 20 touches and gash this Chicago defense. Like, that's a game I definitely don't want to play, especially with the like 50% owned Chicago Bears defense.
Right?
So you can forget that. So if I'm going to go the other way, I might as well play the other side of the ball and play Ramondre. So I'm with you on that one.
And 100%. the last one, yeah. I played 0 of him this year, and the fact that he's even in my brain makes me want to regret the way my brain works. Is Najee. Yeet. Thank you. Thank you, mate. I appreciate you. You are over from one word and one word only. But we saw Tyrone Tracy last week. Somehow he had, I think like 50 yards in the first quarter, 60 yards in the first quarter, and only ended up with like 75 yards for the game, which was kind of weird. But I feel like this Washington, like I said, when it comes to the quarterback situation for Russell Wilson, I feel like Washington's overall defense is overrated. And Pittsburgh coming off their bye, if Washington pushes the pace of this game to make Pittsburgh have to play faster, I feel like there could be some fireworks. And not all the fireworks.
Not all the fireworks.
Not all the fireworks. You know, we're not talking like 35 to 32 type of game. But we could see a 24 to 27 type of game where, you know, you want a little sprinkle. You know what I'm saying? You want to go Salt Bay and sprinkle a little bit on there. So sprinkling this game in is kind of how one of the ways in which I'm kind of looking to save salary as well, is sprinkling pieces of this game. So Najee is definitely a piece of how I kind of want to sprinkle, especially because he's the cheapest running back, I think, outside of also the other running back in that game, Austin Eckler, that I kind of have interest in.
I'm with it 100%. Let's slide over to wide receiver, and I'll break down the chalk for you on FanDuel. Khalil Shakir Khalil Shakir leads the way because, like I said, the aforementioned injuries to the Buffalo wide receiving core. Nuck, who did not get a price adjustment from playing, after prices were released, it looks like he's got on track with Patrick Mahomes, so he's still cheap, and I think a lot of people are going to go to him. Calvin Ridley is getting a lot of ownership this week. Lat McConkey, the possession receiver for that team, garnering a lot of ownership as well. Josh Downs with the Pity City injury has opened up. And a lot of people are going to play, I would say, a couple lineups with either or of the Jets receivers with Devontae and Garrett Wilson. And other than that, that's about it. I feel like it's a little spread out after that. So of those top guys, who are you willing to fade, and where do you actually want to go with some guys that probably should be played in this ownership spectrum?
I mean, I feel like Khalil Shakur is probably one of the staples that I could see myself kind of. All right, I'll eat that jog. I haven't figured out Josh Downs yet because obviously, like most people, you see Pity City go down, and you naturally think, oh, you could be Downs with the sickness. Yeah. Oh, you like that one?
Oh man, I thought you was about to meet me at the club because it was going Downs.
Oh no, I had to take it to my rocket education right there.
My bad, I had to switch it to the rap side. So all right, I'm with it. Go ahead.
But Buffalo really does, like, they do not give up these big plays. They they don't give up much production in general, fantasy or real life.
Don't play wide receivers against Buffalo.
To wide receivers, especially people who are playing on the outside, which I think Josh would play primarily on the outside, especially with Pity out.
Yes.
So unless for some godforsaken reason I'm playing Joe Flacco, I don't see how I get to Josh Downs. I think that's going to be. I think that's which I love me some Joe Cool. Love that man.
That's fair.
That's the pride of Delaware.
All right, Baker. I see you with the college football knowledge.
Well, I'm also watching LSU versus Alabama as we're doing this. So
LAU.
I stopped looking at futons and I'm watching college football as we're doing this.
Gotcha.
But don't worry, I will get back to looking at futons so I can fill this, void behind me.
Baker, I need to ask you something.
Hit me with it, Zoe.
And it's the same conundrum that we have at running back. And there are potential slate breakers that aren't going to be played. Okay.
Like Quentin Johnston.
Quentin Johnston.
He's a slate breaker.
I'm starting Quentin Johnston in yearly. I mean, my game's over, so I'm just gonna. For those that don't know, I got Jamar Chase. So rest in peace to all you yearly players that had to go against Jamar Chase. Heaven forbid you had to go against both Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. And if they happen to have Chase Brown on that team.
Funny story.
Go on.
Obviously, the person who you're playing has Jamar Chase.
Yes.
I'm in a dynasty league with him.
Uh-huh.
He went against Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and Chase Brown.
I'm sorry about everyone that has been defeated by the Cincinnati Bengals this week. Rest in peace. That's why we have DFS. This is why we have DFS. For guys like you and girls like you. If you got Jamar Chase, raise the glass. And rest in peace to your yearly teams.
Oh, man.
So, yeah. But as I was mentioning, potential slate breakers that will not be played. Less than 10% owned, Justin Jefferson. Again, probably the safest floor in fantasy football and he's, again, we kind of mentioned it on Wednesday, but like he's having a down year and he averages like 17 points a game. That's down for Jay Jetta, right?
Facts.
And another guy that's literally going to be probably sub 1%, CeeDee Lamb.
Nobody.
Who
And I
is
mean,
playing CeeDee Lamb tomorrow?
absolutely, positively, nobody.
Listen, are you scared of the Eagles secondary? So, like, if I'm Cooper Rush, I'm throwing to one dude. Actually, two, maybe, because we like some snake. We like Jake the Snake. We'll get the tight ends here in a second. We like some snake. But if you want to get really weird, and I mean really weird, off the board, off the cuff, away from everyone else, CeeDee Lamb is sitting right there. Yes, he is expensive. I get it. Yes, he's coming off an injury. I get it. But the same reason why y'all ain't playing CMC, he's coming off an injury. We get it. The backup quarterback situation. Totally understand that. But at the same time, we've seen statistics from Cooper Rush in the past. This ain't no rookie. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm not scared of the Eagles secondary. This matchup ain't shit. They gonna be playing from behind most likely. You know, smart guys like us are already playing Saquon Barkley. Yes, I get it. It's hard to jam in Saquon and CeeDee Lamb and Justin Jefferson. I get that. I get it. I get it. But if you can find the salary to do it, and Cooper Rush, again, I mentioned the quarterback position is probably one of the ways to do it. I would take a chance on CeeDee Lamb tomorrow. That's just me. So, thoughts, Baker? Are you going to be bold enough to fire up CeeDee Lamb tomorrow with me? With me?
I mean, once again, I ain't never been scared. Like Bone Crusher said, I ain't never scared. So to play CeeDee Lamb, no, I'm not scared to play CeeDee Lamb.
I feel like there's a butt coming. Baker, and I don't like it. I don't like it, Baker. We're supposed to be on the same page with this.
It's purely just the Cowboys' offense as a whole. With your MVP candidate quarterback, your offense has been trash.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
Like, are we going with the backup narrative here? Like the backup comes in and, you know, sparks them for the week?
That's the narrative I'm playing. I'm playing Mac Jones. I'm playing Cooper Rush. I'm going backup. Listen, I played Spencer Rattler. Okay? Like, I don't give a damn. I'm taking jabs, man. I'm taking jabs, taking shots. I'm not here to min cash, Baker. I'm not here to min cash. I'm here to fucking win, okay? I'd rather finish dead last than make a cut line with chalk, okay? And if CeeDee Lamb is the way to do it, and if Cooper Rush is the way to do it, and if Jay Jett is the way to do it, I'm going to freaking do it.
I mean, I promise you I get it. Because once again, I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make money. I need to get that tattooed on me.
CM Punk, baby.
You know, because I have so many tattoos that, you know, I'm running out of space.
Oh, yeah, you're covered. Yeah.
Covered.
I should probably get a few.
I mean, do you have any? Do you have any tattoos?
No, not at all. But I'm just saying, man, you know, again, if you scared, go to church. This is the time. This is probably the week. This is why we're here working overtime, is because this has to be the easiest week to pivot off everything. You know, like there was good chalk. There was good chalk last week. You know, Chase Brown, good chalk. There was other chalky pieces. Al Kamara, good chalk. There was good chalk last week. I'm not saying any of the chalk this week is bad.
What happened? Mike Gesicki was bad chalk, and he ended up hitting.
Yeah, whatever. I should have just played all the Bengals last week. But anyway, I digress.
Besides Jamar Chase.
I know, right? He made up for it on Thursday.
Dude has over half of his fantasy points versus the fucking Ravens this year.
Yeah. Versus the Ravens. That's fair.
Like, you take the Ravens away, he's like a mid-tier fucking wide receiver.
He's like a dude. He's just a dude.
The fuck? Baltimore, get your shit together.
But like I said, you know, there's other guys you can play for, on the other side from, you know, off the lap McConkey chalk. You can play Quentin Johnston. You can play Josh Palmer if you want. Those guys are going to be coming in significantly less owned. And there's other spots I think we can take advantage of when it comes to getting off the chalk. And we mentioned it earlier, if Amari Cooper plays, I would definitely get off the Khalil Shakir chalk and play Amari Cooper. I'd rather do that than play Khalil Shakir. Khalil Shakir has a floor, but what upside? Do we really see Khalil Shakir going for $120 and 2? I don't. I can see Amari Cooper going for $120 and 2. He's done it before, so multiple times. So there's clearly a ceiling there. Clearly a ceiling there. So there's different ways to go. That's all I'm saying. Did we miss anybody that you want to highlight?
I mean, I think the interesting thing is, like, if for whatever reason you decided to play a Colts receiver, I don't know which Colt receiver to play if I decided to go that route at all.
I never pronounced his first name right, but Mitchell?
Adonai.
Adonai?
Yes.
That'd be the guy. I think he'll be playing the slot for them because there's no Pity City. So, again, these outside receivers never get there against Buffalo. So, if I can play somebody that's on the inside, then, yeah, I'd rather play Mitchell. You want a cheap way to get in that game? There's your guy. There's your guy. Adonai Mitchell.
Now, here's the other scary part to me is relative to what they can do on the slate. I feel like every 49er besides the quarterback is underowned.
I think, the 49ers are tough for me because I think their offense is not going to be concentrated. I think it's going to be spread out. I think Juwan Jennings will get a little piece. I think, Debo will get his piece. I think CMC will get his piece.
So what you're saying is just play a naked Brock Purdy and run it.
If I'm playing 49ers, which I'm probably not, I'm probably just Xing out that game off the slate. But unless I, get the cojones to play CMC, I'm probably not playing any of them. But yeah, I would play Brock Purdy and insert guy. It probably won't be Debo, to be honest. But yeah, maybe a naked Brock Purdy could work.
Well, you know my feelings about naked quarterbacks.
I 100% agree with you.
Can't 100%. Fucking stand it.
Yeah, you gotta come on with it. I need some partners. If you got access to a ceiling, I need some people.
Yeah, I need to have that ceiling up here instead of just be like, whoa.
Let's smack up tight ends real quick. That cool? If you're not playing Cade Otton or for some reason on FanDuel, Kyle Pitts, a lot of people are playing Zach Ertz, weird. Hunter Henry, awkward.
Will Disley?
And Will Disley, like new phone, who Disley? And then, of course, George Kittle on DraftKings. He's basically unplayable on FanDuel, so you can forget that.
George Kittle's not coming in with ownership right now.
On DK?
No.
Really?
9%.
At that price?
It is new phone, Cade Otton, Travis Kelce, and Hunter Henry.
So basically, if we don't want to play any of those guys, we can play whoever we want.
Now, the question is, gross, after that.
How's Taysom Hill's ownership looking?
Taysom Hill is right behind Hunter Henry at number 5.
Okay, so he's got a little bit of ownership to him. As I mentioned, TJ Hockenson, I'm fine with that.
Nobody's playing that, man.
No one's playing TJ Hockenson. If you're over here on FanDuel, no one's playing Sam Laporta. Like, literally nobody. Not even Sam Laporta's family is playing Sam Laporta. And like I said, probably the Snake. Jake the Snake, man. You fire up some Jake the Snake.
Gross.
If you choose to.
Gross.
It is gross, but that's what we're here to do. Again, this show is not for the faint at heart, Baker. This show is not for the faint at heart.
So here's the interesting thing to me. And, I've listening to the people in the industry, listening or just seeing what's been winning over the course of like the last month, this double tight end shit continues to hit. And I've kind of come around on the last 2 weeks, and I'm still there. And I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? Because it kind of goes against every fiber that I've learned in DFS over the years. But at the same time, it's always an evolving game. But this double tight end shit keeps hitting.
Because that's where you're going to get value from. And I feel like a lot of builds this week are going to have double tight ends. Like I can see it. I'm not
Like,
advocating that. I'm not advocating that. I don't want to play no damn double tight end unless it's National Tight End Day. Next year, I'm
while we're
playing 7
talking,
tight ends on National Tight End Day, by the way.
just playing every position, your quarterback's going to be a tight end?
Absolutely. Maybe Taysom Hill.
Makes sense.
He's dual eligible.
Lord Jesus.
I know, not on DK or FanDuel, but still. But yeah, I don't see myself building with 2 tight ends. I just like, what am I to jam in? Hunter Henry and Will Dissly and like feel good about that lineup?
I don't feel terrible about building with K. Dotton and George Kittle.
I get behind that. I'm okay with that. But
it's also the current lineup that I'm literally building right now. Like, as I'm sitting here right now, building that lineup.
I just know I ain't playing no damn Will Dissly. Okay, I'm just not fucking doing it.
A chalky Will Dissly?
That's the insta-fade of the century. Actually, no, it's not. That's coming up when we talk defense.
What, the Bears? We can go there now because I ain't got shit else to say about no goddamn tight ends.
Yeah, I ain't playing no damn Bears defense. You can you can jump off something and land hard because I ain't playing no damn Bears defense at 30% owned. Y'all can kiss my ass.
Now I'm playing the Bears defense in yearly.
That's different. That's way different. My defense goes tomorrow morning. Playing the Giants.
I mean, that's fair.
But we digress because we talk about the main slate. They're doing some funky stuff on FanDuel because it looks like everybody's getting their value from defense because I see a lot of Jacksonville, a lot of Commies, and a lot of Colts. Yep, 12% ownership projected. They are the men. You know, Josh Allen with his 2 interceptions this year. And then the one he got last week was Keon Coleman's fault because he dropped it. I mean, he dropped flat the damn ball. Right, so
dropped the fucking touchdown.
Yeah, he dropped an easy touchdown. So like, and that led to this second interception of the year. Get out of here with this Colts defense. I ain't playing no damn Colts defense. Again, on FanDuel, I'm playing the Lions. If I can get up to the Bills defense, I'll do it because we already know Joe Flacco you're going to throw some picks. You can get up to the Bills.
He going to yeet that bitch.
Yeah, if you can get up to the Bills, you might want to play Bills defense. Just saying.
I mean, on DK, if you can get up to the Chargers, Will Levis returns.
Oh, you're right. Oh, you're so right.
Because the fucked up thing is I thought Will Levis was returning last week. So I had so much Patriots defense. And I was so fucking wrong that Will Levis did not return last week.
Yeah.
But this time I'm 100% certain Will Levis is back. So if you can get to the Chargers defense, do that.
Mason Rudolph, kind of a baller. That backup quarterback, man, I'm telling you. It's just solidifying my point, man. You got to play these backups. Jameis Winston was taking down tournaments 2 weeks ago. I mean, Sam Darnold is a bona fide backup quarterback himself. So you got that working for you. I mean, there's examples everywhere, Baker.
What are you about to go interim coach fucking narrative next?
For
New Orleans?
New Orleans, yeah. Absolutely not. New Orleans stinks. They stink. They're so bad. They are trash, dude. Another example this year. Red Rifle's first start.
Yep. I mean, it was the Raiders too, so that helped.
I don't give a damn.
I'm saying that helped.
Damn. Yeah, it helped. It helped. I'm just saying, the backup QB narrative, man, it's there.
When teams
like
the Raiders go on buys, I'm sad.
What's that?
When teams like the Raiders go on buys, I'm always sad.
I know. They're just the gift that keeps on giving.
They are so generous, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. So basically the synopsis of the defensive plays is just don't play the Bears and you're automatically off the chalk. So I think you'll be okay. Okay.
Yeah, I think DraftKings, the Broncos are going to be like, there's going to be ownership on them, but I'm fine playing them.
Yeah, not
With
outrageous.
a little bit of yeah, they're not the Bears ownership.
100%. Baker, we've hit the 1 hour mark in our podcast. Of course, we got to make sure that we tell the peoples before they head out, hit that like and subscribe. Make sure that you're listening to us during the terrible London game, because I'd rather listen to the Deli than watch that trash. So, thank you all for being here with us tonight. And of course, we will relay what we normally do on Wednesdays with A, the bold calls, and B, we need a new segment, Baker, and we're gonna call it the Hot 10.
Oh Lord Jesus!
We're gonna call it the Hot 10. You know why? Because we're gonna throw
a Hot 10.
We're gonna throw the parlay together. We're gonna throw a nice hot 4-leg parlay together, and we're gonna throw that Hot 10 on it.
Okay.
So give me something bold, and give me 2 legs of the parlay that we're gonna throw the Hot 10 on. Hit him with it, Zoe.
Oh.
Hit him with it.
I'm going to go with Russell Wilson for 3 touchdowns.
All right, so we got the Russell Wilson over 2.5 touchdowns. Okay, all right, I'm with it.
I'm also going to go with
Oh, come on, man. Come on. The people are waiting, man. The people got to know. They got to know.
Rakim Jarrett, anytime touchdown.
He's a creative player, Baker. Can you even put him in props? Can you even do that? Is that a thing you can bring up on FanDuel Sportsbook or Caesars or BetMGM or DraftKings, wherever you play? Can you do that? Do you have odds for that?
I'm about to see if I can find this shit.
Hey, go right ahead, because I'm going to rattle mine off. I'm going to correlate with you, Baker. I'm going to correlate because, as I mentioned earlier, if Russ is throwing for 3, one of them is going to Calvin Austin the Her. So give me that Calvin Austin the Her anytime touchdown.
He's here.
Nice. So we're going to go with the Calvin Austin anytime. And we're going to go with the Mac Jones 2 touchdown game. We're going over 1.5 touchdowns for Mac Jones. So there it is. Load up your Hot 10 right there. Load it up. And thank the DFS Deli later. So, Baker, any closing thoughts before we kick rocks with no socks and flip-flops?
I wear socks with my flip-flops.
You're fucking weird, man.
Like, my socks and sandals is kind of my thing.
My God.
Just saying. Even when I have my, manicured toes, still wearing socks.
Are those your closing thoughts, Baker?
My closing thoughts are just play James Cook and thank me later.
My closing thoughts are get weird this week. Just get weird. This is probably the best week of the season to get weird. So chalk is cool, but this week, let's get weird. So for chill, for my man Baker working overtime tonight, I've been your boy Salih Alishahid. We're going to go ahead and close up the shop. Of course, we'll see you all at the top. Thanks for listening.